Hello and welcome to our forum today, Time to Reflect, where we'll be assessing my readiness and our readiness in teaching in the 21st century classroom. So, what is a 21st century classroom? A 21st century classroom incorporates modern technology into lessons to enhance our students' learning and prepare them for a future in our tech-driven world. 21st century classroom dives extensively into the STEM topics, but also applies to technology throughout all disciplines. Now, what does a 21st teacher look like to you? You may have heard this popular buzzword thrown around your school or on the news, but do you know what a modern day educator looks really like to you? Beyond the obvious of being updated to the latest in technology, they can have the characteristics of a facilitator, a contributor, or even an educator. So some of the key characteristics of a 21st century educator should be adaptive. They should be able to adapt to whatever comes their way. Being a teacher in today's world means that you should have to adapt to the ever-changing tools and changes that are being implemented in the schools. Smart boards are now replacing chalkboards. Tablets are now replacing textbooks. And a 21st century teacher needs to be okay with that. Another characteristic, maybe they should be lifelong learners. These educators don't just expect students to be a lifelong learner, but they are as well. They have to stay updated with the current educational trends and technology and know how to tweak their old lesson plan from years before to make it more current. They also need to be tech savvy. Technology is changing at a rapid pace, and this means that a 21st century teacher is right along for the ride. The latest technology, whether it's for lesson or grading, will allow the teacher and the student to be able to learn better and faster. An effective teacher knows that learning about the latest gadget can truly transform their students' education, and so that they are now not just on the current trends, but they are really and truly, they know how to master them. Teachers should also know how to collaborate. An effective 21st century educator must be able to collaborate and work well within a team. Over the past decade, this important skill has grown quite rapidly in schools, but there is always room for improvement. So learning is deemed to be more effective when you share your ideas and knowledge with others. Sharing your expertise and your experience and communicating and learning from others is important part of learning and teaching process. Teachers should also be forward thinking. An effective 21st century educator should think about their students' future and should be aware of the career opportunities that may arise for them. They are always planning to ensure that no child is left behind. And so they can focus on preparing today's children for what's to come in the future. The last key characteristics that I want to share with you is that teachers should be advocates for the profession. They should advocate not only for the students, but for the profession. Today's teachers are watched with a close eye because of all the changes in the curriculum and the Common Core. Instead of sitting back, a 21st century should take the stand for themselves and for their profession. They should place close attention to what's going on in education, and they should address these issues head on. They should advocate for their students also. Today's classroom are filled with students who need someone to look out for them, give them advice, encouragement, and a listening ear. Effective teachers should share their knowledge and expertise and act as a role model for their students. So in assessing my readiness, what difference exists between my learning experience prior to CPC and that of a 21st century classroom expectation? So my education prior to CPC included a more of a deductive approach. Most of the information was presented to us as students. Learning was more of a teacher-centered, and it was the responsibility of the teacher to present the content, a new concept to the class. In order to receive this information, the student had to be in the same place at the same time to receive this information. Whereas compared to the 21st century classroom, it takes more of an inductive approach. Students are now responsible for their own learning together with the teacher, right? Some of the information and content are given by the lecturers, but it is now our responsibility to act on that information. Um, we no longer need to be in the same place at the same time for lectures to be given. It could be done in the comfort of our own home and with the use of technology, of course. Some resources that were traditionally used in classrooms were books, pencils, crayons, cardboards, maybe to be a little technical, maybe a television and a DVD player with DVDs, right? But with the introduction of ICT tools, the advancement made over the years, they are now used more than ever at a large scale in the classroom. And also at CPC, the normal chalk and talk method is not the only thing that works. Resources for learning are made available right at the push of a button. These resources are not just a few, but a wide range to suit every teacher, candidate, or learners in the classroom even. Now, how would this teaching learning experience would provide or would help me to provide for my learners? How will this impact of the teaching learning experience provide me with experience to cater for my learners? I will be able to identify my learners' strengths and needs and their weaknesses. With this, I'll be able to provide more resources and ways in which they can grasp the lesson taught to them, since every child learns differently and through different experiences. Children at this age have a short attention span. They would not be able to focus too long on one activity presented. So with knowledge that I gain, with this knowledge, activities can be planned interestingly and develop the lesson to be more interactive, to grasp their attention and keep them on the flow of learning. So with the use of the many ICT tools available, this can be possible. Now, how would you assess, or how would I assess my readiness to perform my duties as a teacher in the 21st century? So I would be able to know to teach and assess all levels of my learners, the level of learning in which all learners need to achieve. As a 21st century teacher, I must ensure that all the learners in this level, no matter what the case is, that no learner or no child should be left behind. I would be able to discern effective technology from non-effective one. Not all technological learning experiences are effective. If they are not helpful for the learners, it can be very dangerous. So if that is spotted, it can be gotten rid of immediately, and another way should be implemented in order for them to have their educational journey to go into the correct way or the correct path. Now, anticipating the future is a major importance in the classroom. Technology is being advanced, the curriculum is being changed and developed to suit the needs of the children, as I said before. Now, with the new ways implemented them into the classroom, it will help to support the needs of the learners. They, they can be advocates of these development placed in classrooms, and a push must be made in order for children to have proper resources and for them to receive a proper systemic change. Now, with that being said, 21st century teaching means that you have always taught, teaching as you have been always taught, with, but with today's tools and technologies. It means utilizing everything that is important in today's world so that students will be able to live and prosper in today's economy, as well as having the ability to guide students and prepare them for the future. Now, technology has revolutionized every component of society. Teacher is in the transition phase due to the rapid change in technology and students changing values. Teachers can be prepared to use these technologies and handle systemically and analytically. Technology is needed to be integrated to show and to achieve the best quality pedagogy. The courses which incorporates teaching psychology of teachers must be incorporated into the development stages of pre-service and in-service teachers to enhance their learning. They should be educated in supportive and conducive environment, which they can expect to groom young students. Pre-service and in-service teachers should be able to teach confidently in their domain. Once the teacher has the understanding of teaching the content, they would never lose their expertise. Today, we must have competent teachers who set a new set of resources and technologies or techniques. And the technological aid is an integral part of effective learning. I conclude by saying that we should develop our youths who are in higher secondary and colleges in such a way so that there is every activity for progress of the country. Thank you for listening.